Tug in Canada. You're live with Eric and Drew. How's it going, Tug?
Hi, I'm doing pretty good. I was wondering how you define morality and where you think it comes from.
Yeah, Drew, how do you define morality and where it comes from? There's quite a bit there. I can go first if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. So let me just read the definition of morality to start out with. I think that's a good 101 essay way to fill some space here. So the first definition to come up is a particular system of values and principles of conduct, especially one held by a specified person or society. Where do I think morals come from? I think that it's a mix of nature and nurture. The nature comes in with the way that our brains have formed. We naturally can feel what other people are experiencing, not in a psychic way, but like visually and auditorially. We're really good at kind of keying in to other people and mirroring what they're doing and how they're feeling. And there have been studies that have shown mirror neurons in people's brains that actually activate in the same place. Somebody gets an injury to their arm, and a brain scan of somebody watching that, their brain will light up where that arm injury was. You can feel to a degree that kind of pain in other people. Problem is, it's most effective the more similar you see that other person, the more they look like you, or the more they're in your group. Right. But I think that creates a good foundation for that kind of kind behavior to others. We also see it in animals, this kind of social reciprocity. And it's the foundation for building a social society. So that's the underpinning to it, I believe. The nurture piece of it is, as we build this society up, it's not enough that we don't just, not kill each other. It's also that we respect each other's humanity. And that's something that we're continuously building. I don't think that morality is necessarily something that's set in stone, but something that we're constantly refining. That over generations, I'm seeing now us having a morality fight that was not even remotely being had 50 years ago. Right? 50 years ago, people were having riots over race in ways that, well, we're still having race riots, aren't we? It feels like it feels like things are hopefully getting, I don't know. How can I go back further? We don't have slaves in the United States the same way that we have. There's still a type of slavery, but I'm thinking out loud here.
A person, the average person on the street will say slavery is bad and that one race should not be subject to another. Most people will agree on that moral premise. Whether or not people are acting well on that moral premise is a completely different issue. But yes, there is some progress there. I agree with what you're trying to say there, Eric.
I appreciate that. But how do we figure out what is moral? There are so many different philosophies. I think that if the philosophy is over 300 years old, you should probably find one that's a little more updated. But I think that if you want to get a primer in it, read Kant, Kant.
Yeah.
I think that is, I don't agree with a lot of things there, but it's a good start and it can give you a good place to ask questions and move forward.
When it comes to discussions of morality, Eric is constantly serving Kant, I would say.
Drew, we're already going to be so demonetized. You can cuss. I don't see any. I appreciate that. That was good. That was clever. So the problem that I have with Kant is Kant, believes that we have souls, and us having souls is the reason why we need to treat each other kindly. So obviously I'm not there, but this idea that we should act in a way that we want everyone else to behave, right? You kind of look at your action and go, would I want a world where everybody else does the thing I'm about to do? Would I want that world to exist? Is a cool start. And you can go on from there. But yeah, I think that's a pretty decent launch pad. I know I would want to go further, but like we have so many callers calling in. But did you have anything else, Drew or Tug?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. So one would be, can you consider morality, like this is a question people should ask themselves. Do you consider morality to be able to be objective without it being based in something transcendent, extra to the universe? That's a huge question that you should ask yourself, because a lot of the time people say, well, where does morality come from? And you say something like Eric just said, and it's like a societal consensus type thing, and it also is based on our biology. And they'll go, well, that's how you're telling me like how to be moral, but like where is it actually based? What is the actual reason for blah blah blah? What's the actual grounding? And what they mean is they accept the premise. They're not actually directly saying this, they're just implying this because they think that everyone just believes the same thing for some reason. They believe, and they're stating that unless something is based in the transcendent, in the divine, in the supernatural, whatever you want to call it, it's not a real grounding. The next question you should ask yourself is something objective, like objective morality, or actually I should say, is morality that is useful inherently objective? Can a moral system that is not transcendently or otherwise objective still be useful? That's another question. Is a moral system being useful, it being objective or transcendent? That's a question. And let me see, I know I had another question here. But yeah, I think that people just get really hung up on the implicit premise that a moral system is not real and not useful unless it's grounded in the metaphysical. And people never explain why. They just kind of assume this. And then a lot of people who believe things like Eric and I do just allow that premise to slip on by and then have a discussion where we're never going to resolve it because we're not addressing their snuck premise.
Yeah, the idea that we need some supernatural lawgiver, essentially, just to put point on that.
Right.
That is an incredible rabbit hole that I hope that you explore, Tug, because oh my gosh, I have spent so long on it and I've found a lot of value there. And I hope you do too. I think my last statement to you on this is don't let people approach you with the idea of morality that you need to create it from the ground up. We are not without moral behavior and are trying to build it. We are living in a somewhat moral world, where we and our neighbors already have a concept of morality. And because of that, it's not, could we be moral? It's not how to be moral. It's what, we're behaving in a moral way right now. What is it? And then is it the best that we want it to be? Can we do better? But treat it as something that is currently happening, currently being iterated upon. And don't let anybody remove your ability to join the conversation because they think that you need to start from square one. We're all starting in a place where everybody is already behaving to a degree, based on what they think their morals are. And so don't let them undercut you.
I really like that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, Tug. I love these kinds of questions. I know Drew doesn't, but thank you. Thank you both. And I'll catch you later, Tug.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
That was a good one. Just I just got to make a joke that I liked. So that was a worthwhile call for me.
I appreciate it. I there are so many calls here that I'm not used to. that have so much to do with the kind of stuff you talk about. I saw that one though, and I thought that would just be kind of fun.